Why knowledge matters.
Well, because as I grew up, I I saw not just my parents doing this work, but the Indian people around me, the people that were working with helping other people understand things or just be aware of things was seen as a little kid. You know, I had dolls that went to the hospital because I was a doctor and I needed to take care of my dolls. My sister wouldn't let me take care of her dolls because her dolls didn't get sick, but my dolls did. But it was that kind of a awareness from the time I was little that was going to be my job and I had to learn how to do it. And so I stuck around where my parents were doing. I watched what my mother did and what my father did. And I thought, yeah, that's right. That's right. And I kind of just tracked along behind them. And I'm so glad I did.
What do you think was it that you were able to basically mimic your parents? Because it's not necessarily always the case. And you went through your own struggles when you were a kid in India.
Yeah.
You really talk about this. You were crying most of the time when you came home, and you were just looking forward to seeing your caretaker at home really putting your hands around you.
Yes. Well, I was blessed with a home that I could come home to. What a blessing that is for each one of us. The world out there can be real tough and we have to face what we have to face. But if we can come home to a loving home, it allows us to go on with our lives. My mother and father were amazing. My dad was a good disciplinarian, and I can see him looking at me and saying, "Are you a quitter?" I was not. If I was playing and I quit, he'd look at me and say, "Oh, are you a quitter?" "Oh, no, no, I'm not a quitter." That kind of thing. But my mother always found something of humor that she could add to difficult things that had to be dealt with. Like, for instance, my first 2 years in school were horrible because I'm dyslexic to this day. I'm still dyslexic. I, 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 at that point, the alphabet just jumped around on the page for me. I couldn't, um, I couldn't read, so I repeated first grade. I was in first grade twice, and it was I was the class dummy, and I just really was broken as far as my own self-esteem, except at home. At home, it was a different thing. And then when I got into third grade, I had a teacher who saw something in me that the other teacher hadn't seen. So she appointed me as class governor. And as class governor, I got to take what was in our class and present it to our whole student body. And so that put me in a different position. And and the story goes on from there. But it's awareness that life has to be lived and lived in a way that can be uh, workable, but also joyful and livable.
That's why knowledge matters. Make your life a masterpiece. Visit now programs.d-ykm.com.